Hello everyone, this is Y. Manohar Reddy, Department of Cybersecurity, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. Today I am going to discuss about the next database language, which is very important for all the database queries. So DML and TCL queries. DML and TCL queries. That is nothing but data manipulation language and transaction control language. Data manipulation language and transaction control language queries. In the previous sessions, we discussed about different types of DDL commands. In the previous sessions, we discussed about DDL commands, data definition language commands. So what are the create, alter, truncate, rename, drop? So those are all data definition language commands. They are going to define the structure or pattern of the database or tables, right? But now we are going to discuss today data manipulation language. Data manipulation language. See what we'll get from this data manipulation language. Data manipulation language. So DML stands for data manipulation language. That means you are going to manipulate the data in the tables. You are going to manipulate the data. Manipulation means you can perform insertion, you can perform deletion, you can perform deletion, you can perform insertion, you can perform all other updations, deletions and all, right? So data manipulations supports what they are going to manipulate the data from the table. They are going to manipulate data from the table. So it is used for accessing. First of all, it is going to accessing the database in the data in the database, and you can access the tables also. After that, you are going to manipulate the data. You are going to manipulate the data. The data is nothing but tables here. You are going to modify the data in the tables. So in database. So it handles user request. So that is nothing but user wants to modify some data. Then you can be able to perform this DML language syntaxes. So here some of the tasks that comes under DML. So what are the different types of commands that you are going to perform on this operation? So there are different types of operations are there. Select operation. It is used to retrieve data from database. If you want to retrieve any type of attributes, any type of columns, any type of tuples, if you want to retrieve, then you can able to perform with the select operation. The next insert operation. It is used to insert the data into the table. You can perform insertion operation. You can perform insertion operation to insert the values in the table. To insert the values in the table. So you are going to inserting values by using this insert command. The next update. It is used to update existing data within a table. It can use to update existing data within a table. So the table contains all the attributes under values. So if you want to change the value, if you want to update the value of any column name, you can perform with this update operation. You can perform with this update operation. Under delete, it is used to delete all the records from your table. If you want to delete a particular record, you can delete it. If you want to delete all the records from the table, you can able to perform this delete operation. So remaining all the operations, merge operation, you can perform like offset operation. Both you can perform dynamically, both insert and update. You can perform simultaneously insert operation as well as update operation. So that it called as upset operation. Upset operation. And the call. So it is used to call a structured query language or Java subprogram. If you want to integrate and call to another program, you can use this call operation. You can use this call operation. And the explain plan, it has the parameter of explaining the data. It has the parameter of explaining the data, what the data contains in the table. And log table. So if you want to log the table, you can perform this query, log table. It controls concurrency of the table. So among this all the different data manipulation language commands, you can have the more importance on this select operation, insert operation, and update operation, and delete operation. So most of the cases you are using these four operations to manipulate the data in the tables. Let me see how the syntaxes will comes for this manipulation commands and how The examples are going through these commands, right? The first one is what? Select. So the table is nothing but it contains attributes as well as values. A table contains attributes as well as columns. So I am taking the employee as a table, and in that I am going to create what? Employee ID, next employee name, next city, employee city, next salary, and next age. So these are all the 5 columns that I am going to create employee table. These are the 5 columns that I am going to create an employee table. So in this table, without inserting the values, you are not going to perform select operation. You are not going to perform select operation. You can perform, but you are not going to retrieve any values. You are not going to retrieve any values, because within the table creation you are not going to suppose to have any values. Until and unless you have performed insert operation, the values have been inserted into the table. After the insertion operation completion, you are going to perform selection operation. So how do you perform? If you want to retrieve all the values, from the table, you can indicate a star for all the fields and all the records. You can perform the star operation to retrieve all the table attributes as well as table values. So select star from table name, then it will retrieve all the values from this table. Suppose I just want to display employee ID or employee name. I have to enter only these 2 fields. Select employee ID from employee ID comma employee name. Select employee ID or employee name, or else you can take select employee name comma salary. Then you can take any of the columns. If you want to perform, you have to mention that columns, what the columns you want to display. So I just want to display select employee ID from employee, so that all the employees IDs will display for this command. So you can perform select operation on 2 bases. One is to displaying all the columns, to displaying all the attributes along with the values. Or else, if you want to specify particular column to display, you can mention that column. To display like this. So select employee ID from employee. That indicates you can retrieve the values from employee table on basis of employee ID. Suppose you can take select employee name comma salary from employee. It's supposed to display the employee name and salary values from this employee table. Those 2 values you are going to display, and from this one you are going to display only employee ID. So, like that, select star from star indicates what? All the fields you are going to display. Then you can use star from table name. So like the way you can perform select operation on 2 bases. One is for indicating the columns which you want to display, and second one is indicating all the columns from the table. So all the columns means you have to mention that star operator. Particular columns means you have to mention that particular columns. So this is the way select operation can be performed. But if you want to perform select operation, you have to perform insert operation. Until and unless insert operation is not at all over, you are not going to perform select operation, because there are no values to be retrieving from the table. So what will get the result? No rows will be selected from the table. So like that you will get the answer. So for that, to avoid that answer or to get some values from the table, you have to insert must and should. You have to insert some values must and should. So we'll see the insert operation. So this is the insert operation. So insert into the table name. The syntax is what? Insert into table name. The table name is nothing but what? Employee. Values of value 1 comma value 2. Whenever you perform an insert an operation, you are performing insert operation, you should mention the size of data types. You should mention the size of the data types as well as size of the values also. The data types that employee table contains and the values of that employee table contains should be same. Should be same. Suppose you have 4 employee attributes, but you are inserting 3 values, that will not allow to enter. That will not allow you to insert because the column's size is not matching with the value size. So that's why you can say that columns size and the value size must be the same. If you have 4 columns, you should enter 4 values definitely. If you have 3 columns, you should enter 3 values definitely. So like the way you have to enter the values based on the columns that you have in the table, right? So in that employee table, I have this like 5 columns: employee ID, employee name, employee city, and employee salary and employee age. So I have 5 columns and I am going to insert 5 values. And I am going to insert 5 values. So the syntax is here: insert into employee. Employee is the table name and insert operation is the DML operation. Values of what the values you are going to enter for the columns. So for the employee ID you are entering 6, employee name Mary, and employee city Canada, and employee salary 6 lakh, and employee age 48. So like the way you can insert the values. If you want to insert multiple values simultaneously, means multiple values at the same time, you can indicate comma. You can indicate comma to enter continuous values. So I am taking what? So I am taking insert into employee values of 6 comma Mary. Based on the data type and based on the type of the string, you are going to mention these single columns or not. So employee city and the salary comma employee age. If you want to enter second insertion value also, then you can indicate comma operator, then indicate 7 comma Sam comma city Hyderabad comma salary 40,000 comma age 24. Similarly comma. So like the way you can mention the number of values to insert with the help of this comma separator. So with the help of this comma separator, you can insert multiple values at the same time. So this is one way of inserting the values, and the other way is what? Insert into employee table name of the table contains what columns, right? So what the columns you want to insert, what the columns values you want to insert. So mention that column size, employee ID comma employee name comma age. I just want to insert only these 3 values for these columns, So I am indicating employee ID comma employee name comma age, values of 7 comma job comma 40. So like the way I can mention the size, I can mention the size of the data types and the size of the values. So by doing this, you have to mention that column size should be the same with the columns values. But in this manner, I am going to mention the number of columns, however it may be, and you can mention the values. So like the way you can perform the insertion operation on 2 bases. One is directly you can mention insert into table name values of, but that value should be matching with the columns size. And the second one is what? Insert into employee of columns names. How many columns you want to insert? Just mention that columns. Values of, mention that values. Mention that values. And if you want to insert multiple values at the same time, you can use this comma separator to inserting more and more values. So this is the way you can insert operation. So after performing insert operation only, you can perform this select operation, because now I am inserted all the values. Now I just want to display some of the values like employee ID or employee name or employee salary or employee age. You can mention any of the column name to display just mention the select employee ID or select column name from table name, so that you will get the values from that table based on the column that you are mentioning, right? So this is the way you can perform select operation and insert operation. Without doing this insert operation, you are not able to perform select operation. You are not going to perform select operation. And next one is what? Update. So now I am inserted some values, but laterally I just want to update some values based on the IDs. I just want to update some values based on the IDs. So for that purpose, we are using update command. And update can be performed in two bases. Update can be performed on two bases. One is performing with the where clause, and second one is without where clause. So without where clause means like this, and we'll see what is the difference between without where clause and with where clause. So update command is used to update the values that you have in the table. So based on the ID, based on the name, based on the age, based on the salary, based on whatever column name, you can update some values. So we'll see here. The syntax is what you can mention: the update, table name, update table name, set. This is one set operator, and column name equals to value 1. What the column you want to update, what the column value you want to update, that mention column name and value also, and where the column name equals to value name, second column name equals to value name, means I am going to update the values based on this column and value. I am going to update the column 1 with the column value 1 value, where condition is equals to column 2 equals to value 2. That means we'll see here example. So I just want to update employee name Vishwa, where salary equals to 6 lakhs. So salary equals to 6 lakh, where the salary equals to 6 lakh, that employee name should be I need to update. So however it contains some name, but I just want to update 6 lakh salary belongs to this employee name Vishwa. I just want to update salary 6 lakh belongs to this name Vishwa. So mention that update employee, set column 1 employee name equals to value 1 Vishwa, where salary equals to 6 lakh. This is the condition 2. This is the column 2 condition 2. Column 2 value 2. This is the column 1 value 1. This is what I am going to update based on this value. This is updating value, and this is referencing value. This is updating value, and this is referencing value. That means I am taking this condition as a reference to update this value. So I am taking this condition as a reference and to updating this value. Right? So like the way you can perform this one. Similarly, you can see here update employee, set employee name equals to Kelvin, comma city equals to Boston, where employee ID equals to 5. In the table where the column employee ID is having 5, I need to update their name as Kelvin and their city as Boston. So that means indicating that ID equals to 5, where the ID contains 5, I need to update what? Name equals to Kelvin and the city equals to Boston. Like the way I can update two values simultaneously also. So this is the way you can update with where clause. You can mention where operator, where condition, set operator, and DML operation, DML command also. Like the way you can perform this update operation, right? This is what update with where clause. But when you will see update without where clause, what will happen? So mention as like mentioned in the previous, update table name, set employee name equals to Harry. That indicates without specifying this where condition, this value is reflecting all the employee names. all the employee names. Suppose the table contains 5 employees names. When you are mentioning this without where clause, all the names will become Harry. All the names will become Harry. So that is the drawback of without where clause we can use, because everyone having that Harry is not at all favor, right? So we have to give the values based on the conditions. We have to give the values based on the conditions. So these are the two ways we can update the values. We can update without where clause and we can update with where clause. So without where clause means all the names will be updated with the same value. All the names will be updated with the same value. But with where clause, you can mention that the condition, based on that condition only the value will become updated. The value will become updated, right? So like the way you can see, update, select, insert operations. And last, delete operation. So delete operation, you can perform delete for two types. One is the table, you are going to delete entire the table. You are going to delete entire the table, or else if you want to delete a particular row also, you can delete particular row delete. You can use this delete operator, or else you can use to delete entire table also. So syntax is for what here? To deleting all records, what you are going to mention, delete from table name. Delete from table name. So delete from table name. The table name is nothing but employee. So delete from table name. If you are giving the syntax, the table rows, all the rows of the table will be deleted. All the rows of the table will be deleted. But if you want to specify particular record to be deleted, you can use that column. You can use that column where condition, with where condition you can delete. So I just want to mention here, delete from employee where employee name equals to Harry. So what I am going to say here, I am going to delete where the employee name equals to Harry. That entire row will be deleted. That entire row will be deleted. So for this purpose you are using where operation, and for all the records to be deleted, we are doing, you don't want to mention any where clause. You are simply directly delete from table name. Delete from table name. So this is without where clause. This is with where clause. With where clause you can specify the record which you want to delete. But without the specification of without where clause, you are going to delete all the records from the table. You are going to delete all the records from the table. So like the way you can perform this delete operation, right? So these are all the data manipulation. Means you are going to adding something, you are going to manipulating something, you are going to deleting something. And if you want to see them all the details, you can use the select operator also. So like the way you can use this select, update, insert, delete operations as a manipulation operations. And the next one is what? Transaction control language. Next one is what? Transaction control language. That is also called as TCL. So transaction control statements are used to run the changes made by DML statements. Whatever the DML statements has done, I just want to commit them, I just want to roll back them, I just want to apply some workspace or save point to them. You can follow with this TCL commands followed by DML statements. And it allows the statements to be grouped into logical transactions. So in this we are having a commit is one command. It saves the work done. So whatever the time you are going to save the work permanently, you can use this command. You can use this command commit to save the work. And save point, it identifies a point in transaction to which you can later roll back. So if you are mentioning this save point, you are going to perform any operation. After that you applied this save point, you can roll back it again. That means the updated values in the previous session will get as usual. So that is the use of save point. And rollback, it restores the database to original since the last commit. So however you committed the last values, after applying save point, you can roll back the values from the previous one. And next, set transaction. it changes the transaction options like isolation level and what rollback segment to use. So you are going to performing, you are going to starting the transactions, you are going to specifying the transaction. You can use this set transaction operator, set transaction command, set transaction command. So among this all the four, you are going to use this commit, save point and rollback are very important. Commit, save point, rollback are very important. So we'll see how it will works. So you can use the syntax for commit, like commit work. So that commit, simply you can enter some values, insert operation or delete operation. After that you can simply mention that commit, that work, whatever you do on that work is to be committed. That means it's saved. And save point will save point s1, this is save point name, and this is also save point name. So whatever the work I am going to do for the particular time, and after that I just want to relax, so at the time the work will be saved by with the save point. At the time the particular work will be saved by save point. So I need to save the work to do again after 10 minutes or after 20 minutes or after 1 hour. So if I mention save point s1, it will be saved. After from this, I am going to start for the next 20 minutes or next 1 hour. Right. So like the way you can mention these save points and rollback. So whatever the committed values are will be committed. So I just want to roll back them. So the previous values what contains before committing, that values will be rolled back again. That values will be rolled back again. So these are the three syntaxes: commit, save point and rollback. So rollback work, save point name, commit work. So how it will work, see here. So example, so update employee set hire date equals to, that is January 98, where employee number equals to 1111. So I am doing this update operation. After this update operation, I am creating one save point. I am creating one save point s1. I am creating one save point s1. Similarly, I am performing one delete operation from employee, where employee number equals to 1111. Now I am deleting this employee number 1111. After that I am deleting, I am creating one save point s2. So now you can see I just mentioned that save point s2 is for deleting purposes, save point s1 is for employee hire date employee number purpose. So now after creating the save point, s1 s2, I am going to roll back to save point s1. I am going to roll back to save point s1. That means whatever the operations performed on the save point s1, values will be retrieved. See here. So we'll see. Select star from table 1. This is one table, contains IDs and marks. So these IDs are 1 to 8 and marks will be this. 7 rows selected. Right. Now I just committing the table. Now I just entered the commit option. So commit will be completed. And the next what I need to add, what I am doing here, I am deleting one record where ID equals to 8. So I am deleted where the ID equals to 8, and I am creating one save point for that deletion option. Save point created, save point s2. Now if you see output, that deleted option will be no more in the table. So if you retrieve this table, only 6 rows selected. The previous one we have 7 rows. After deleting this one, we can have 6 rows only. Now what I am going to do here, I am going to roll back the table. So now what mentioned here, rollback is completed. So I am going to display all the results. Select a star from T1. Now all the values, whatever the rollback performed, that all the rollback values will be displayed. That means here in the previous session we are deleting this option. So that deleted value also roll back again. So 7 rows selected as usual. So this is the way we can perform all these TCL commands and DML commands. So commit, save point, rollback are TCL commands, and delete, update, select, insert commands are DML commands. So in this session, what we learn here, we are writing the syntaxes for data manipulation language commands, and we are writing the syntaxes for TCL commands also, commit, save point, rollbacks also. So like the way you can understand this all the DML queries and TCL queries. And these DML queries are very important, and DML queries are followed with the TCL commands also. TCL commands also. Right. So this is all about DML queries and TCL queries. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.